Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I have done a fair bit of work. We finished doing the cultivating up at the top fields, the new ones that we ploughed in, and I've also done a few contract jobs as well, as you can see by the 72,000 euros that we've got there, as well as doing those contract jobs in the middle of the night when the money came in from the cattle. We'd only had the extra cattle for a few short hours because we bought them at the end of last week. At last week's series. So we still had profit from them. We still, our money went up after all the other expenses, animal upkeep, property, the maintenance, and all the rest of it. All of those went up, and then the milk that came in was 100 euros more than all of that. So that was just from a few short hours, so we will actually end up getting quite a bit. We've got a few bits in storage at the moment. They're doing quite nicely, and if we look here, we've now got 40 pigs, just under 4 hours for the reproduction rate. I still want to get those up to 100 pigs. The cattle, we got 19 of them. Everything's starting to get a bit lower, so we are going to have to top those up, but we're going to do all our planting before we do that. Before we do that, my question that I asked you last week, I'll tell you what, I will do the purchases while I'm here. We're buying a new sewing machine, and it's going to be that one there. This one is a 4.5 meter one. We've used it a bit in the time-lapse series. It's quite a good one. I'm quite pleased with it. It's quite small, and our tractors can handle it. So I'm going to buy that one right now. There we go. And the other one that I was talking about was the rollers. Now, it's this roller pack here, these concrete rolls. You would use these for rolling directly after seeding, and then by compacting the soil like that, it can actually increase germination rates, and it's a good thing. So that's kind of, the fertilizer in this game isn't necessarily fertilizer, it's things that help the plant growth. So these will help the plant growth, and then we can use the weeders in stage 1. So I'm going to buy, the ideal setup is one of those and then 2 of those, but I thought I'm going to go a bit bigger than that because I can and I want to. So I'm going to buy 3 of these. Okay, there's 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to have a whole gang of them, and then we'll get 2 of these for the outside ones. So 1 there and 2. Yes. Right, so now I will go back out of here, and we are left with 17,000 euros. My question for this week, and I'm hoping that the small tractor will take the seed drill, and then we can put all of those rollers onto the big tractor. We've got those rollers, and one of them's outside. If the small tractor can handle this seed drill, then the big tractor can pull the rollers. I think it would be better that way around, because rollers can be quite heavy. The question I asked you all last week was, did you want me to stop this series after 50 episodes, or did you want me to run it longer and run for approximately 60 to 70 episodes? I wasn't quite sure how many. Now, this is quite heavy on this one, but I do think it's going to cope with it. We will come back in a bit and get those other rollers. I won't use the follow me, because with the rollers, you should actually go quite slow, especially with a concrete roller. Where I come from, the rollers that we used to use were, or we still do actually, for rolling grassland and also for rolling after doing some sowing. They're big granite rollers, and a roller that is made out of one huge great big lump of granite is very, very heavy. Now we still have one actually. We have, on my parents' small holding, they have a granite roller which is one of the biggest for about 50 miles in any direction from where we live. It is absolutely huge. It's not really, really long. They always used to be about the width of a tractor. But generally they were fairly narrow, but ours was really thick. It was a lot across. It's one of the heaviest you will find. And small tractors struggle to pull that thing around, especially going uphill. It's absolutely monstrously huge. So I was always really proud of having that roller. But anyway, so I've gotten completely sidetracked. The question I asked you all last week, I'll just back in here and start filling this up while I talk to you about that. I asked you, did you want me to run the series for 60 to 70 episodes, or did you want me to run it for just 50 episodes and then change over to a new map? And 1,888 people answered this question, and 658 of you wanted me to stop after 50 episodes so that I could move on to a new map sooner, and 1,230 of you want me to run this one for 60 to 70 episodes so that we can try and get a lot more done that we originally intended to do on this map right here. So, we will be running this map. Now, what I think happens with this particular seed drill is that the seed goes into the ones at the back and the fertilizer goes into the one at the front. But because we are now an organic farm, we can't actually put any of that in there. So let me just pick that one up. So we just need to do it like this. Now, I'm going to be planting these 2 fields down here with sunflowers, and I'll plant the 2 fields at the top with corn. And you may notice that we are actually on 1 times speed. I normally run it at 5 times speed. I have actually done that for a very specific reason. I don't want the crop moving on to the first growth stage. I want it to just stay freshly sown before we get over it with the rollers. So I'm doing it like this so that it doesn't advance too quickly, and I will change it back to normal, our normal speed after I've done all of this planting. So I'm just going to start this one going with the hired help. And apparently... What? Oh no, because this one takes fertilizer, we're not actually, the hired help won't go. So how can I get around that? Oh, that's awful. That means that we've either got to do it ourselves, do it manually, or I was hoping to leave the hired help to just go with it. Is there an option? We need to go and have a look in our options section now and see if there is an option to change it. So a helper refills the seed, turn off. No, we don't want that one. It's the helper refill fertilizer. Fuel usage, traffic, dirt, fertilizer states. So that's all you can do. You can either buy fertilizer, but we don't want fertilizer going on, do we? Plant growth is on slow. Game settings. Oh, there's no way to override it. Oh, that's terrible. That means I've got to do this with a GPS mod, rather than... Because I can do it myself, but I can't use the hired help to do this. So I can lower it down, I can get started, and I can start working up across the field, and it'll do it just fine. But if I engage the hired help, it will stop automatically and say the tank is empty. This is a disaster! Let me just... Oh, no, I don't want to go there. I want to have a look and see what the other seed drills do. Seed drills... Right, hang on, before I get to this, my question for this week, let's one thing at a time. My question for this week, I have done a bit of contracting jobs and I've earned a bit of money. I'm going to do some more contracting jobs soon and earn a load more money, so that we can get some more animals. And I'm going to increase the number of pigs, increase the number of cows, and I'm going to go for sheep. At the moment, I'm planning to increase the pigs up to 100, and then once we reach 100, I'm going to start working on the sheep. But what my question is, if you have a look in the animal section, you've got this Joskin trailer here, this 24,000. We've got one of those. And then this one here is 67,000. Now, I could buy that trailer and a dolly, in order to move the animals around faster. We can, obviously we can transport a lot more. So my question is quite simply, do you want me to buy this trailer? I will buy a dolly to go with it and we will tow it with a tractor for now. We may buy a lorry later on in order to tow it. So I would sell that Joskin trailer and I would buy this Michieletto. Is it Michieletto? I think so, the AM19. And buy that one. Do you want me to buy that one, or do you want me to just save my money, keep this one, and invest that extra cash at the moment into more animals? It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below. Let us know what you all want. Do you want me to keep this Joskin, or do you want me to sell it and buy this one? Right, so what we're going to have to do now is I'm going to have to engage GPS. So let's just do that. Bring up that screen. Set the working width, that's 4.5 meters, that is exactly right, and I will do that. I'll get rid of the lines. We'll do an auto turn like that, lower it down, start it up, and press 3 and we're away. Right, this is somewhat annoying to me, so while that is going along, hopefully, oh no I can't, I was hoping that I could do that and then look in here. So we're going to need something other than this Kavernland. That Amazon, that does the same. That also takes fertilizer, so that one's not an option. Potatoes. No. This one here takes fertilizer. This one takes fertilizer. So, oh, hang on, we got some small ones here. I didn't think about these. No, and no. So far, we don't have any that you can do without the fertilizer, which means that we've got to do them ourselves. I really, really don't like this. There's 3. Let that one carry on. Because I don't want to have to sit here and nurse it through using the GPS. I would rather just have the hired help do it. So, I know that we're not going to be using it very often, but we are going to still need to use it. So I'm going to give you a topic of conversation for today. I should really have picked it up on the end of the headline. Where are you going? Right, that's moved over 2 widths. I'm going to have to just manually turn it round properly, because 2 widths is a bit too much. There, we do that. Lower it down. And I've also got to make sure that I do this spot on, because it's our own land, so we want to cover every inch of ground. Right, the topic of conversation for today is, would you be happy for me to use fertilizer in this machine when we're doing this, so that I can use the hired help to do it? We're going to just do this field now. I'm going to actually finish doing this one in a minute, and then I will get back to you so that we can move on to the next thing that I've got planned. But would you be happy for me to use the hired help and buy fertilizer? We don't normally want to have fertilizer going, do we? We want to, so it does mean that we can only use seed drills that don't have fertilizing as an option, which is really, really frustrating. I was hoping that there might be a way to get round that, and I will have a look and see if I can find a mod or something that overrides it, so that we don't have it stopping when we don't have fertilizer in the seed drill. There's got to be something for that. But in the meantime, what do you think of me putting fertilizer in it and using that just while we're using the seed drill? There are fertilizers out there that are classed as organic, so technically we wouldn't be sort of violating any organic sort of things. We want to run the farm as a completely organic farm, and there are fertilizers that you can get that are classed as organic. We won't be spreading pelleted fertilizer or spraying fertilizer on the land at all. We're just going to resort to the weeders and rollers and also manure and stuff from our animals. But what about when it comes to drilling the seed? Because I don't want to have to sit here and use the GPS mod the whole time. I will try and find another seeder that doesn't take fertilizer so that we can get round it that way. But for now, head into the comment section and have a chat about what you think of me using the fertilizer in this machine. So it will just sort of say that it's organic fertilizer rather than regular fertilizer. But anyway, I'm going to finish this field because this isn't what I want to do today. I'd like to try out those rollers, and we've got a great big long sort of gang of them, which is going to look really impressive if we can get it going. So I'll finish this field, and then we can go and get the rollers. And this is the very last stripe up across the field. Yes, I really, really don't want to be doing this all the time, so I am going to have a look around for a mod for one of these types of seeders, the ones that will do the corn, the sugar beet and the sunflowers, that don't have a fertilizer tank on them, because that's kind of the crucial bit, is that this one has a fertilizer tank on it and we don't want one with a fertilizer tank. So that way that the hired help would be able to do it. I was thinking that maybe we could do, put some slurry or something on the field beforehand, but I don't think it works that way. I think what it does is that it cultivates as it goes over, and puts the seed down, and then the fertilizer goes afterwards. So if you've already got a fertilizer stage, it still won't work. So I was thinking maybe we could bypass it, put fertilizer in, but it wouldn't actually use it. I don't think that we can do it that way. I don't think that is an option. So I am going to look for another way of doing this. Obviously head into the comment section, and it's our topic of discussion for today. Would you be happy for me to use a bit of fertilizer in here so that we could, and we'll say that it's organic fertilizer. That's the only fertilizer we would use on the map. It would be while we're using the seed drill, because we don't have an option. I mean, this one here also takes fertilizer. So in order to plant sunflowers and corn, because the other one will do beans, so we're not limited to using this one for that. But that Amazon there is one that does it, and then the Cavernaland there, that one does it. This is the other type, that's a potato. This one is fertilizer. That is a regular. That one is the right one, but that takes fertilizer. See, the Lemkin here, the Lemkin doesn't take fertilizer. That would be fantastic, but it's the wrong type of drill. This one here, again, wrong type of drill, but that one takes fertilizer anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This one here, this would be the right, but it's the wrong kind of drill. And finally, this one here, again, wrong kind of drill. So we've got no options here at the moment. I've either got to do it manually or we've got to do it like that. And I really don't want to have to do that manually because I'm hoping to expand our land, and it's just going to take too much time. The hired help is something in this game that's absolutely priceless. But anyway, that's all that aside. I'm going to get up to the shop and I'm going to start hitching up all of those rollers so that we can bring them back down here. Well, there's a couple of things that are very accurate about these rollers. I've never actually used ones that are concrete, like I said, as granite ones that we used to use. And I've actually used it was only last year, I think I did use it again. And we put it on our little Massey 35 tractor that we've got. That was actually really good fun. Because we've only got a really small amount of land, you don't do enough to start getting absolutely mind-numbingly dull and bored with it all, which is what happens basically when you're doing lots and lots of rolling. It is an absolutely awful, dull job that nobody particularly likes. But if you're just doing a little bit with a small roller, it can be good fun. So anyway, these are quite slow, but it's when you're reversing them, you've got to back them up very carefully and very steadily, because if you don't, you end up jackknifing them very, very easily, and that is one thing about the roller that is very, very easy to do. It is so easy to jackknife these things when you're backing them up, not just because of the short base on them, but also because... And also, you can't go fast with them. You can't go any faster than this, and this is another really accurate thing. When you've got a roller, you cannot drive fast. But here, the way that it works is... when you're backing them up, it kind of does the inside, and it kind of changes the speed that everything is moving. It's difficult to describe, but if you were to just go all the way to the front one, there we go. When you back up a trailer, the inside wheel will slow down, and the outside wheel kind of that will set a speed, and it'll also affect how quickly it turns a corner. But with a roller, you don't get that, because the whole thing moves at the same speed right across the board. There's no sort of individual rolls. If you've got I think it's called a Cumberland roller, a ring roller, they work differently. But this one, it moves at the same speed wherever you are on the roller, and that affects the way, if you're reversing with it, that really does have an impact on the way that it moves as you back it up. And you find it's a lot easier to jackknife one of those than a trailer of a similar length. If you have a short-based car trailer, short-based car trailer, and you're backing that one up with a tractor, whoa. Right, we can get 4 kilometers an hour on this one. There's a lot of weight on these rollers. There is a huge amount of weight on these rollers. Oh, this is fantastic. You know, I knew that there would be a fair bit of weight on these, and it does slow you down, but this, 4 kilometers an hour. I mean, look at my wheels. My wheels are really spinning trying to pull this thing. This is amazing. What look at that. What an absolutely fantastic mod. I'm absolutely delighted with this. It's starting to... The traction's starting to kick in a little bit there. Oh, now it's really going. Whoa. So it is starting to kick in a bit, but the weight of those rollers is really having a major impact on that tractor. That is fantastic. Oh, what an incredible detail of this mod. It's got some genuine weight behind it there. I'm so impressed. I'm going to slowly get this one up to the farm. They're going to have to just stop and let those cars come past. And when I get to the field, we've then got to rearrange how they're laid together. Oh, we're going faster now. I think this is as fast as it goes anyway. But yeah, we've got to basically rearrange them and put them on the outside hooks so that they're spread wide, and then we can start doing some more get the rolling done. And that's a ground improvement that we've done. So we need to do 3 ground improvements. That's how the fertilizer system works. So you're weeding, you're rolling, whatever it is, it improves the quality of the ground and better affects the performance of the crop that you've planted. Oh, we got some speed now. Okay, that's not entirely accurate. It seems to allow you to speed up a little bit. Anyway, I'll get over to the fields and then we can actually test this thing out on the ground. Well, from what I can see at the moment, it goes really slow whenever it's on the ground. The rollers hold it all back. And if you get over a piece of road that doesn't actually have any earth underneath, just the way the map is made, if it's got a bit of a dip underneath the actual road surface, then it won't class as being engaged on soil, and so it will allow you to go a bit faster. But so that's why I'm getting these bits where I speed up. I suspect once I get onto the field, I won't be able to go any faster than this. Okay, that wasn't easy, but I have managed to put these into operating position. I think that the biggest issue I've got is that I've been a bit greedy. I shouldn't have brought 5 of them along. I think I should have just stuck with having 3 of them. The one at the front and then the 2 behind. I think it would actually work a lot better if we had that configuration. However, I got greedy and I wanted to try 5 at once. So I'm going to use the 5 for this particular time, but then I will sell 2 of them so that we just have 3, because it does actually appear to run faster if we just have the 3. You can get along the ground a bit quicker. So I think it's actually, it slows them down. I think it's actually a cumulative thing. And also you can see the way that it's pulling, it is actually, it's not working entirely correctly. The way that it's sort of pulling to the side, because you can't join the 2 in the middle. It means that they're sort of having a slight impact on the way that it would work. Excuse me. So we're going to, let's just get on to the field now, and we will see how well it actually works. Well, it is doing it. It's actually giving us a soil improvement level, which is absolutely brilliant. I really like this. I do like that I can do this. However, I don't like the way the wheels are spinning like mad like this. This is, yeah, I think I'm just a bit too greedy. That's what it's amounted to. So I'll tell you what, let's stop, and we need to very carefully figure out how we're going to unload these things. So I think we're going to have to, we'll go back to that one and we'll unhitch there. And if I move forward a little bit so that I come off of being able to hitch into it, I'll then go to that one and unhitch that one. So I've got these 2 here. Move forward a little bit, unhitch, and then what I'll do is if I back up, and I'll get that one. These 2 I'm going to return to the shop, so we're not going to use these. It's not designed to do this. I was being greedy. That's what it amounts to. I was just being too greedy. We're not supposed to do it like that. I thought having 5 rollers would be exceptionally cool, and it was pretty cool, I gotta be honest. I don't regret it, not even for a moment, but we're gonna have to get back to just 3 rollers, so we'll hopefully be able to use this. I'm gonna try and do this with the hired help as well and see if that will also work. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is unhitch the other one as well so that I can hitch this onto the back. So I've got to come, see how easy it is to jackknife there? That wouldn't have done the rubber on the tyre any good whatsoever. If I can stop here, I think I will actually be able to get onto that front one and then back it round enough that I can pick that one up. At least I hope I can. So we'll pick that one up there, and On a background, I want to turn it slightly. Yes, there we go. Excellent. Right, so now we've got 3 rollers instead of 5. And I'll start moving. See, it is going faster. It's gripping like it's supposed to. Excellent. That is fantastic. I am so pleased with this. This is absolutely brilliant. Look at that. Let me just get going. So, what we're going to need to do, I think, is in order to stop it jumping to the next growth stage, because that would be really unrealistic having it on the next stage, we will have to set, when we do our planting, we'll have to set our time to 1 times speed. Now, I don't like adjusting the time. I like to just keep it on the same scale all the time, but sometimes I think these things can't be helped. So, I've just engaged the hired help, and we'll see what this does now, whether it can actually finish it and get round the corner. He's turning. He does seem to have the right idea. There we go. Come back on himself. Now, is he going to acknowledge that? Yes. Oh, that is excellent. It is sort of speeding up and slowing down in sections, which isn't ideal, but generally it does seem to be working really well. This is so cool. We're actually rolling our field after planting. I did not think that I would ever actually be able to do this in Farming Simulator, to be able to properly roll your field after planting. That is amazing. I am really pleased with that. That is so cool. And I realise it is just rolling, and it's not something to get hugely excited about, but still, yeah, I've done this in real life. I've done this a lot in real life, so for me, this is quite significant, actually having this level of realism being added into the game to us. Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. So anyway, my question for this week is, I would like to increase the amount of animals we get, and I'm going to be doing some more missions off screen very soon. So do you want me to just stick with the Joskin trailer and pour all of that new money into animals, or would you like me to spend some of it on buying this great big animal trailer here that we will pull using a dolly and one of the tractors that we've got? So that would be fairly soon. It would mean that we'll be able to transport the animals faster, and once our pigs reach over 100, it'll probably be a bit quicker and easier to sell them. However, it costs a huge amount of money. That is a lot of money that could otherwise be spent on more pigs, more cows, and investing in sheep as well. So, you know, think about this very carefully. Head into the comment section, let us know why you're voting for the one that you're voting for. Don't forget to actually cast your vote up here in the top right-hand corner. It's your vote, it's your game, it's all down to you guys. I am going to finish doing the rolling on this field before next episode. And don't forget our topic of discussion. I really want to know what you guys think of me using some fertilizer in the seed drill that we've got, and whether you think that would be in any way accurate or realistic. Putting a bit of fertilizer in there and calling it an organic fertilizer, because I know that we're running this farm completely organic, so we can't go spreading fertilizer on here normally, but you know, there are ways around it. So what do you think of that? I really don't want to have to plant everything manually when we come to using those types of crops. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.